5 with a state of emergency in Oregon. Governor Kate Brown declaring one today in 25 out of Oregon's 36 counties in response to the extreme heat across the state.
It is retroactive to yesterday and lasts through Sunday. The declaration makes additional resources available to help with the high temperatures. The state's Emergency Coordination Center will help orchestrate the effort.
It's hot and sweaty. It feels like a sauna, 110 degrees out.
It does, and this heat can be dangerous for many people, but it's even more of a threat for those living on the street. Thank you for joining us. I'm Laurel Porter.
And I'm David Molko. We'll get to Matt Zaffino in just a moment here, but first to Blair Best. And Blair, you talked to some folks who don't have anywhere permanent to live. How are they getting through this?
Well, David, it's hard enough living on the streets as it is, but then to pair that with this heat and nowhere to escape, well, it's putting some people in some difficult and quite frankly dangerous situations. On the pavement and exposed.
It's pretty hot sometimes.
Jeremy Eckenstam is 22 years old. For the past 2 years, he's called these streets home.
I'm on my feet all the time, so I'll go from one area to another.
And he does this barefoot.
They were burning yesterday.
This morning, someone gave him these rainbow Crocs. And for Eckenstam, surviving in the heat is nothing new. He even has his tricks to staying cool.
Well, I use the water fountains that are on some of the corners, or I'll just get a water bottle and I'll pour it on my head and I'll drink some of it.
I mean, it's going to give it a tune-up, but change the oil, but I'm going to wait till probably tomorrow because it's so freaking hot today.
Michael Marati lives in his car. Last night, the AC broke.
Pain in the butt is what it is. It's extremely uncomfortable.
It's rough. It's tiring, exhausting, but, you know, we manage.
Jeremy Grandy also lives in his car. Luckily, his AC works.
It makes a big difference for people that don't have AC. It must suck.
I got my own cooler with ice in there with water.
Larry Hall works with Clean Start, riding his bike around Old Town, handing out water to those living on the streets.
You know, seeing people laying on the sidewalk, not knowing if they're breathing or not. So I take the initiative to get off my bike and walk up to them and ask them if they need water.
Starting today, 5 cooling centers are opening across the county, and more will be added so no one is turned away. But many on the streets have other plans.
Yeah, actually, I was going to go to the river after this.
I just park in the shade, drink a lot of liquid, and go to the river.
Now again, starting today, 5 cooling centers are opening across the county. And here's an important note. TriMet isn't turning anyone away who's trying to get to a cooling center but can't afford the fare. They just ask that you let the driver know. And if you still need help getting to some of these cooling centers, just call 211. David, Laurel.
And we are just getting started. Thank you, Blair. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt, it sounds like which day is actually going to be the hottest this week, and I'm looking triple digits right now. It's becoming a bit of a moving target here.
It is, because we're only talking about a degree or two difference. It's going to stay roughly the same for several days. Now, today we did warm up more, and I think this may end up being the hottest day of the week, but you know, if we cool off by a couple degrees, it's not going to make that big of a difference. It's so hot outside. How hot is it, you may be wondering? Well, even the spider is taking refuge in the shade of the hood of the camera here. See that little spider up there? He doesn't even want to come out. That's how hot it is. We're at 101 right now. That is a new record for the date in Portland. Here are the records that have fallen so far or have been tied. New record in Portland. The Dow's tied its record, and that's a chore. They hit 111 to tie the record. Hillsboro, 101, new record there. Troutdale, 101, new record there. And Hood River, 104, new record there. So impressively hot, unfortunately, all throughout the metro area. Here's the map showing the other numbers. 99 McMinnville, 100 in Vancouver, 94 up in Kelso. There's that 111 in the Dalles and 106 in Medford. But the coast, I mean, look at Newport. Never even got out of the fit. Look at Newport. It's beautiful. It's foggy and it's cool and 57. So there is relief, but you got to get right on the beach. If you're just a couple miles inland, it's hot. So we have an excessive heat warning here. Heat advisory for the coast range just about up until Highway 101. And if you get rid of the excessive heat warning, we have an air quality alert as well, because the air quality is getting worse and worse because we're just stagnant with our air. There's no influx of new clean air. Everything we put into it is just accumulating, and it's getting rather nasty. There's also a dense marine fog advisory offshore. We don't see that very often because of that fog that I showed you over at Newport. So tonight stays hot. We'll still be around 80 or 81 at 11 o'clock. We were 81 last night at 11. Staying in the 70s almost until sunrise. about 5 a.m. we finally drop into the 60s. So it does cool off, but it's well after midnight when that happens. So excessively hot through Saturday, very warm nights all week, and now we don't go below 90 until Sunday. So our excessive heat warning has been extended by 2 more days. I'll break down the day-by-day high temperature, but really, David and Laurel, it's going to be hot every single day. You know, we're 101 today. Say we top out at 99 tomorrow. Doesn't make that much of a difference in terms of how it all impacts us. Back to you.
Thank you, Matt. And we have a sad update now in the search for a missing swimmer at Hagg Lake. Authorities said they have found his body. He was swimming with family yesterday when they say he went under the water and did not come back up. There is no indication any foul play was involved. With all the people looking for ways to cool off right now, with all that heat Matt was talking about, it's a reminder to stay safe on the water.
Around Hagg Lake, we have over 13 kiosks that are filled with anywhere from 25 to 30 life jackets. And those are there for community members to take them and use them at their pleasure and use them to stay safe. We tell everyone if you're on the water to make sure to wear a flotation device.
The swimmer has not been publicly identified yet.
Well, the heat this week has a lot of people out shopping for an air conditioner, but searching for one and actually finding it are 2 different things. Our Catherine Cook called several Home Depot and Lowe's stores in the area. Most told her they were either sold out of ACs or had very few left. We also learned from customers that some of the big box stores sent them to Ankeny Hardware on Southeast Stark in Portland. The owner there said he started the summer with 500 units, then added another 200 last week. He said planning ahead with seasonal stock is always a bit of a gamble, but given supply chain issues and the heat, he is glad they did.
This year, we were told they're going to be hard to get because where are they made? They're made in Wuhan in China. That's where the majority of the manufacturing is. A lot of that stuff is still shut down. They told us, let's get them, we're going to have to get them in by December.
Of course, for some, buying an AC unit is a bit of a luxury. Over the weekend, state health officials teamed up with community groups to deliver 500 AC units to those in need. They hope to get to a total of 3,000 by the end of summer. And after last year's deadly heat wave, lawmakers passed a bill that put $5 million toward that investment. If you or someone you know are looking for relief, we have a full list of local cooling centers on our website. And this is even easier. Just text the word heat to 503-226-5088, and we're going to text you back with a link to that list, another option to find a cooling center or transportation to one. Just call 211.
Tonight, a Portland police officer is under investigation for shooting at a man accused of trying to run over that officer, all while ramming 2 police cruisers. This happened in North Portland, and it's the second police shooting in a 48-hour span. Let's bring in Mike Benner. Mike, any injuries in this latest shooting?
No officers were hurt, Laurel, at least physically, but we're not sure about the suspect because that person got away. This incident is the latest in a string of incidents leaving members of the Portland Police Bureau feeling depleted.
Debris at the corner of North Fessenden Street and Columbia Way, a sign of the chaos that played out here just hours earlier.
It's pretty frustrating, I'd say that.
Kevin Rollins lives in the Melrose Apartments and heard some of the commotion that started around 1:15 Tuesday morning. We're told at least 2 people called 911 to report gunfire in the area. Officers raced to the scene and located a possible suspect in a truck. Detectives say that person sped off, hitting not 1, but 2 police cruisers and almost striking an officer who ultimately fired at the suspect.
I heard 2 shots, real quick, hit a row, and then a car's tire squealing.
No officers were injured, thank goodness.
Officer Derek Carmen says it's unclear if the man driving the truck got hurt because he managed to get away.
It's beginning to get frustrating for the officers, and hopefully members of this community are getting frustrated with it as well.
Officer Carmen is referring to the violence that continues to plague the Rose City. Just this past weekend, a police officer was badly hurt and hospitalized after being run over by a suspect in a stolen vehicle investigation. And hours before that, 2 officers fought with the domestic violence suspect. Video of the encounter shows the suspect pull a gun and maybe even fire a shot, prompting one officer to return fire, killing the man.
Any one of these incidents pushes us to a breaking point, any one of them, and we have multiple.
Sergeant Aaron Schmautz is the president of the Portland Police Association. He says his members are humans who work tirelessly to make the city safer, only to be met with resistance.
There is a huge disrespect for the rule of law that is being born out of this rise in criminal violence in Portland, and you see that in people being willing to resist more, people being willing to fight more.
And for proof, Look no further than the incident in North Portland early Tuesday morning. Neighbors we spoke with have had enough.
It's terrible. It gets worse and worse like every year. When I first moved here, it wasn't nearly this bad. And then now it's declining a lot.
All right, Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle is weighing in on what happened this morning and over the weekend. He says it is shocking and reprehensible, adding that his officers deserve and need the community's support. In the meantime, the search continues for the man involved in this morning's police shooting. Anyone who might know who he is or where he's at is urged to call police. David.
Thank you, Mike. Let's give you an update on monkeypox this evening as Washington state health officials confirm the first case in Clark County. They say the person who tested positive is a man with no recent travel history. He's currently isolating at home. Clark County Public Health is now working to identify people who were in close contact.